Okay, hey everyone, how's it going? This is Custom by Cody. I'm Cody, and today we're taking a look at some of the upcoming big notable video games that are releasing in March. We got quite a few titles releasing in March, so let's not waste any time and get to it. First on our list, releasing on March 6th, is Split Fiction. As an older gamer now, I find this game looks absolutely nuts, and it just looks like a fun and weird co-op action adventure game. Being developed by Hazelight Studios and published by EA, which we all know EA, and that could either be a semi-lukewarm okay thing or a very bad thing. Split Fiction promises to take us on a mind-blowing and boundary-pushing co-op action adventure. One thing I want to point out here is the game's story. Just listen to this, okay? Mayo and Zoe are contrasting writers. One writes sci-fi and the other writes fantasy, who become trapped in their own stories after being hooked up to a machine designed to steal their creative ideas. What an absolutely refreshing and creative idea and concept that story is. You do have to give props to the developers for this one, thinking up a very unique story idea and for trying something new. Now, will the writing in the game be up to par? That is yet to be determined, but good for them for trying something new. In this game, you will be jumping back and forth between two very different settings, a sci-fi setting and a fantasy setting. Hence the name of the game, Split Fiction. The game is designed for co-op play, where you'll have to coordinate your actions and timings, as well as work together to overcome the challenges that you will face. In each level, players will discover new mechanics and abilities, and a wide range of gameplay that includes platforming, stealth, puzzles, and much more. A thing that the game will have is Friends Pass, and essentially, if one person owns the game, then they can play co-op with their friend using Friends Pass. The Friend Pass does allow the other player to download the game without owning a license to actively play it, and both people can play the game together. I do like the idea of game sharing. It does seem to be a decent solution for games that are very co-op focused games. Split Fiction is set to release on March 6th, 2025. This next title is an action-adventure RPG set in 19th century Japan. Don't panic, though. It is not Assassin's Creed Shadows. It is, however, Rise of the Ronin. Rise of the Ronin will be releasing on March 10th. Developed by Team Ninja and published by Koei Tecmo Games. So here's a kind of brief overview of the game. Rise of the Ronin will have us embarking on an epic journey across war-torn 19th century Japan in an open world action RPG, where you will take on the role of a Ronin, forging your own destiny in this time. The game will feature multiple possible endings, allowing players to choose which faction to support. These factions include the anti-shogunate faction, pro-shogunate faction, or the Western forces. Now, let's just go over the specifics real quick here and take a closer look at the features in Rise of the Ronin. In this game, our character is a nameless Ronin during this tumultuous period. Believe it or not, I have zero education in Japanese history, so I'll probably be butchering these names here on out. We will be able to make choices throughout the game that will have influence on how the story plays out. You will encounter historical figures and factions with various ideologies for this time period, such as the anti-shogunate faction leader, Ryoma Sakamoto, and the shogunate-affiliated organization, Shinsengumi, led by Isami Kondo. That is Marie Kondo's great-great-great ancestor. I personally enjoy games that have multiple endings, as it does allow the game to have a lot more replayability. As with any good RPG, there will be customization, and we all know customization is key to a good RPG. You can choose from various melee weapons like the katana, spear, and Odachi, and each weapon will offer multiple combat styles. By freely combining these based on your enemy's weapons and your own combat style, you can play a wide range of tactics. There will also be ranged weapons like guns and bows, which you can use strategically according to the situation. Equally important to the weapons we can use, we will also be able to customize our character to our liking. From their facial features, hair, makeup, to their body and voice. So pretty standard character customization there. And as you progress through the story, you'll be acquiring new clothing and gear to customize your appearance further. Next up is the world that we will be exploring. In the mixed cultural landscape of Edo, Yokohama, and Kyoto, during the Bakumatsu period, we can explore stunning scenery with seasonal changes. There will also be a grappling rope that we can use to climb up onto roofs and a glider to glide through the air. And if it is anything like the glider that that's in Breath of the Wild, then I think we can expect to have fun with it. Rise of the Ronin was released on PS5 in 2024, and this release in 2025 is a re-release for the PC. The game is also boasting a number of big technical enhancements. These include 8K resolution, 120 frames per second, ultra-wide and super ultra-wide monitor compatibility, 3D audio, and customizable keyboard, mouse, and keyboard settings, all of which sound pretty nice for us who play on PC. Rise of the Ronin will be releasing on March 10th. So grab your spandex tights, everyone, and let's get ready to rumble. WWE 2K25 will be releasing on March 14th. Developed by Visual Concepts and published by 2K Games. I don't know if this game needs much of an explanation. It is a wrestling game, so flying elbows and drop kicks galore. WWE 2K25 is going to be bringing you an unparalleled lineup of current superstars, legends, and Hall of Famers with a 300-plus roster spanning multiple generations. And that sounds pretty cool if they have, over 300 wrestling characters that you can choose from to play with. That's pretty cool. Now, this next part, I am going to talk about the game's monetization because, frankly, it does bother the fuck out of me. WWE 2K25 is going to have 3 versions of the game, which is pretty standard now in the industry, and that's not the issue. What bothers me is the over-the-top price gouging that companies are doing, all so that you can play the game a few days early. First, to the smooth brains out there who are buying into this nonsense, just stop. You're wasting your hard-earned dollars, and I can guarantee you it's not worth it. Here are the different tier prices in my country's Monopoly money, and that's Canadian dollars. The standard edition is $79.99. The Deadman edition is $129.99. And the Bloodline edition is $172.99. And frankly, you can fuck right off with those prices. I'm not into the sports genre of games as much, but even if this was in a genre that I enjoyed, there's no way in hell I would be dishing out that kind of money all so that you can just play for a few days early. But really, that is a topic for another day, so I'll leave it there. WWE 2K25 will be releasing on March 14th for us peasants, and early on March 7th if you dish out way more money. This next game is a retro re-release of a casual sim game with updated graphics. A spin-off from this Sims franchise comes MySims, and it is releasing on March 18th. Developed by Maxis and published by everyone's favorite publisher, EA. So here is the simplified overview of MySims. In MySims, you'll be moving to an adorable little town, and with some creativity and some help from the locals, you can make your new home in this place and you can thrive. Typical with cozy games, you arrive at your new home. The town has seen better days and is currently struggling. You will have to improve the town by helping out your neighbors in order to attract new characters to your town. The game has an emphasis on creativity, where you will be able to shape the town as you see fit, like the entire town. So your house, your neighbors' places, the little shops and stuff all within the town. The idea is you get ultimate say and creativity over this town, which is kind of cool. It will be up to you to discover what the residents want and need so that you can help them enjoy life in your Sims new town. You can build homes and businesses, uncover special decorations and patterns as you explore your growing town. From the furniture and objects to the buildings to the town itself as a whole, you'll be pretty much designing and the whole town. Going over some of the features in a bit more detail here, you will be building and customizing an entire little town here, from the local businesses to the more eccentric features that are found within your town. This game emphasizes your ability to make the town your own. That's kind of like the big selling point of this game. As it is your town, you will be the one shaping its community, so you will get to decide who lives there and who moves out. And if it's anything like Animal Crossing, there will most definitely be characters that you want and characters you cannot wait to see move out. There will be exploration, as you can find all sorts of useful and surprising treasures hidden throughout the town. You will be able to socialize with the locals, discovering their likes and dislikes and all their funny little quirks. On top of all that, it is a sim game, so you know there's going to be a ton of customization you can do for your character. Alongside your character's customization, you will be decorating with your very own furniture and accessories, then customize your creations with the things that you grow, harvest, or discover around the town. MySims looks cute and fun and is set to release on March 18th. Okay. Oh boy. This next one here is going to have an interesting launch, to say the least. I already had this section written up last month, but due to the game's delay, it got scrapped. So I rewrote it, and we're going to try it again. Assassin's Creed Shadows is releasing on March 20th. This series has visited a lot of different time periods over the years, but now you'll be doing all the Assassin's Creed things, but in feudal Japan. Get set for assassinations, collectibles, and a large open world to explore. You'll be playing as a shinobi assassin and a samurai. You'll be able to switch between these two characters as you play and progress through the story. And to be honest, I think my last Assassin's Creed game was Black Flag. I really enjoyed the sailing and pirate-ness of that one. This series does suffer from a lack of innovation, so it will be interesting to see what, if any, new features Assassin's Creed Shadows presents. So here is a general overview of the game. Similar to every other Assassin's Creed, you'll be playing in a time of turmoil, and in this case, it is feudal Japan during the late Sengoku period. The game will be playable from one of two perspectives and playstyles. The shinobi assassin Nayo will offer a stealthier, more agile approach playstyle, and the samurai Yasuke will offer a more upfront, direct, powerful playstyle. Looking at the features in the game, your character will be able to explore a large open world ranging from castle towns to bustling ports to peaceful shrines and a war-ravaged landscape. You'll be adventuring through a world where there will be unpredictable weather, changing seasons, and reactive environments. I am genuinely curious to see the depths of these systems. Like, are they more for an cosmetic of an area, or do they actually affect the gameplay in some way? Like, if you're the assassin character and you're running on the rooftops and it's raining, are the roofs more slippery, or do you have a greater chance to fall, or anything like that? The game will obviously feature the classic Assassin's Creed signature viewpoint system, where your character climbs up high, surveys the land, which then opens up points of interest on your map, and I bet there will be a ton of leaps of faith in this game. A feature that sounds interesting and it'll be neat to see how it plays out is the hideout system. You can create a fully customizable hideout for your growing shinobi league as you train your crew, craft new gear, interact with key characters, and choose your base's building layout, decorations, and accessories. This seems cool to me. I always do enjoy a good decorating and customizing my own space in games. It really does a good job at making you feel more connected to this game world. So it will be neat to see how Assassin's Creed Shadows goes about it. Now, we all know Ubisoft has been a dumpster fire as of late, so hopefully this release goes a bit better for them. I personally will probably be passing on this title, and I'll just end up watching some gameplay videos to get the gist of the game. Realistically, until Ubisoft actually starts delivering higher quality games again, I would be cautious of anything they put out, to be real. But that, you know what, is a topic for another day. Assassin's Creed Shadows is releasing on March 20th. Now, this next game here, admittedly, I do not have a whole lot of experience with this series, but I do respect the developers, and the game does look like a fun shooter. Killing Floor 3 is releasing on March 25th. Being developed and published by Tripwire Interactive, Killing Floor 3 is a PvE co-op action horror first-person shooter game. So here is the general overview of the game. You and your squad are tasked with mowing down waves and waves of an obedient horde of bioengineered monsters called Zeds. As you play through levels, your characters will earn dosh, unlock skills, and build the ultimate arsenal, which then you will use on these monsters. With this game, you know what you are playing. You team up with your friends, you shoot Zeds, and then you unlock progression, and then you rinse and repeat. The game will feature 6-player co-op and also a tense single-player mode. You'll be able to customize your character and arsenal with hundreds of mods, gadgets, and skills to choose. While gunning down Zeds, depending on the map that you're playing on, there will also be environmental hazards that you can use to aid in your fight against the Zeds. If gore is your thing, and if it is, I don't know why, but if it is, then you're in luck. The devs are returning their meat system to deliver even more realistic carnage, featuring points of dismemberment and persistent blood. The game responds to your attacks with gruesome authenticity. I don't know if this game is my cup of tea, but nonetheless, Killing Floor 3 is set to release on March 25th. This next game here looks like a stylized Souls-like game, and I am digging the art direction that the developers decided to go for with this game. The first Berserker Khazan is releasing near the end of the month on March 27th. Developed by Neepal and published by Nexon. The first Berserker Khazan is a hardcore action-adventure role-playing game based in the Dungeon Fighter Online universe. So here's a brief rundown of the game. We play as Khazan, a great general of the Pellos Empire, who overcame death and is setting out to reveal the events that led to his downfall. And then we will extract our vengeance on our enemies. Our story is set 800 years before the events of Dungeon Fighter. Now, jumping into the more specifics of the game, our story takes place on the continent of Arad, where we will be facing off a number of epic boss battles. If you like boss battling, then this title might be for you. The gameplay combat is a blend of flashy hack and slash combat with hardcore difficulty, delivering polished, high-impact action. The developers state that the game will have intense and difficult boss battles that, should you succeed, will provide a deep sense of accomplishment, and I think that is really fucking cool. I do enjoy challenging content, like the adrenaline rush from them. Our character is falsely accused of treason, and we are banished to the Snowy Mountains. We narrowly escape death and embark on a quest for vengeance. On our journey, you will witness the character's growth as you uncover the conspiracies and mystery that led to your downfall. The art direction in this game, I think, is pretty cool. The game is built with the Unreal Engine and uses a 3D cel-shaded style, which reminds me of an animated anime or Studio Ghibli films. The world of the first Berserker has been reimagined through a blend of bold cel-shaded art and realistic textures, which to me looks very unique. I do like it when games try out different art styles rather than just going for as realistic as possible. It does tend to make games stand out, and they do age better that way. As always, a good RPG requires customization, and the first Berserker is no different. The game will have a wide range of weapons, including dual-wield weapons, spears, and greatswords. You will be able to collect and upgrade these weapons, along with various pieces of armor and complete gear sets to develop your own distinct combat style. Anytime a game gives you options to make your own character your own, the better. So good job on them for doing this. The game will also have a vast skill combination system. Each weapon comes with a variety of skills that can be combined to create a combat style that's entirely your own. So with some creativity and strategy, you can create and play the game in a very unique way, all tailored to the way you want to play. If I'm being honest, I really like that these hardcore games exist and that there's an audience for this type of game and genre. I personally very much suck at them, but I am glad that this genre is growing. I will probably have to watch other people play this game, and I'm looking forward to it. The first Berserker Khazan is releasing on March 27th. Next up on our packed month of video game releases is a game that has piqued my interest, and I am looking forward to its release. It is right up my alley and looks to be a blend of Fallout and Stalker. Atomfall is set to release on March 27th. Developed and published by Rebellion. Atomfall is a survival action RPG game, and that is one of my favorite genres right there. The basic overview of Atom is that in this game, we are exploring a fictional quarantine zone in northern England. Typical to survival games, we will scavenge, craft, barter, fight, and talk our way, out of situations through a British countryside setting while trying to figure out what exactly happened at Windsdale to cause this quarantine zone. So let's get into it then. Atomfall is set in a post-war Britain, specifically in the 1960s, where you will be exploring a quarantine zone located in the Lake District of Northern England. You will mysteriously find yourself in a bunker in the quarantine zone, and you are unsure as how you got there. You are unfamiliar with your surroundings. You have amnesia. Your goal of the game is to unravel the mystery of the quarantine zone and figure out what happened to Windsdale. And to do this, you're going to need to be able to survive in this harsh environment. This then introduces the survival mechanics in the game. You will need to scavenge and craft in order to get weapons and gear to survive. With this being a harsh land inside this quarantine zone, ammunition will be scarce. You will be able to loot ammo from containers and enemies, but you'll need to balance out the use of said ammo. If you run out of bullets, well, then there's always melee. There will be a wide assortment of melee weapons to find, to craft, and to use on your exploration. In this game, you will encounter bizarre characters, mysticism, cults, and rogue government agencies, all within this quarantine zone. To me, the game looks interesting, and the world that the devs have created here within this quarantine zone looks interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing more about it. Atomfall is releasing on March 27th. All right, this last game on our list here looks like a next-gen sim game. I think this one is going to give the Sims a run for their money. InZoi is releasing into early access on March 28th. Developed by InZoi Studio and published by Krafton, InZoi is a casual life sim that looks to offer an experience with immersive, realistic graphics and deep, detailed simulation. The game looks absolutely nuts. So let's briefly go over the general features of this game. It is a casual life sim. If you haven't played a sim game before, Essentially, you create these characters and you let them live out their lives, and they can do all sorts of things. Just imagine anything you can do in real life skills, chores, anything like that. You can do that in these types of sim games. InZoi, however, looks to take that to the next level. The game is going for an immersive, realistic graphic look with unparalleled levels of customization. You will be able to customize your little character with an insane level of detail, and there will also be customization with the character's housing. The developers have stated that players can alter any aspect of their world to create unique stories and experiences. The game is being developed using Unreal Engine 5. Your Zoi is not a sim in this game, they're called Zoids, so your Zoi can also find jobs to make a living while forming deep relationships through interactions with other Zoids. There is a complete community simulation of every character acting on their free will, which sounds really interesting. It'll be neat to see how the AI of this game interacts with each other. If you are into sim games and you want something new, then InZoi might be for you. I know my wife loves The Sims, so she may love this game as well. I am really curious to see the level of customization that is being offered with this game. InZoi is being released into early access on March 28th. Okay, so that is it, everyone. We have a lot of games coming out in March. If you made it this far in the video, first of all, thank you for checking it out. It does mean a lot to me. And second, I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions about what you just saw. Let me know down below if any of the games I talked about today interest you, or if I missed anything, any upcoming games that you can think of that I did not include. That's going to be it for me today, everyone. Until next time, keep on keeping, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.